And we are back with another episode of the Baseline Bums podcast. It's your host, Rob, aka B-Ball Archives. And once again, I got the bums in the house. AJ James, thanks for joining me on this lovely Sunday afternoon. We have to talk about a Spurs win that just happened not too long ago. And I'm thrilled to talk about it. But first and foremost, how are you guys doing? We got to get to that first.
It's just a beautiful day. I'm trying to talk quiet because there's a sleeping baby in the next room, but we'll see.
Well, I ain't got no baby, and we're on a 3-game winning streak, so I'm gonna yell it. No, I'm just kidding. But
do it.
Hey, man, dude, 3 games into the season now, we're 3-0, and we've won in several different ways, and that's not including guys like De'Aaron Fox and Jeremy Sohan. On top of that, just an FYI, this is kind of like an 8-game winning streak because we won our 5 preseason ones. And I mean, granted, it's preseason, but so far in this season, there hasn't been a team who has beaten us, which is wild to say. I'm not used to it. I forgot what it feels like to be on like a 3-game winning streak.
Now, we got to get to 5 because we are the only team, I believe, in North American sports that hasn't had a 5-game win streak since 2020.
That is atrocious.
So we got to get
that's
one.
Kind of wild. Yeah, we got to get there. But to your point, AJ, these wins have been in different fashions, and that has been what's the most promising thing.
Of course. Yeah. We're seeing our guys get out to an early lead, blow a team out when we're looking at the Mavericks game, really just kind of stomping them out and putting them out early. And when we look at the Pelicans game a couple days ago, that was a tough overtime battle where it took a lot of resilience late in the game in order to walk away with that W. And then just moments ago, we saw kind of what a veteran team does, and that's late in the game, 5-6 minutes, go on that 9-0 run and just kind of say, hey, that's the difference maker right there. So I really do agree with you, AJ. We won in a lot of really interesting ways.
I think one of the most promising things about the whole thing is Mitch Johnson has been absolutely phenomenal on the bench. There's several times where especially the Pelicans game, as well as this past game with the Nets, that we could have easily just folded and lost the lead and lost the game. I mean, I would argue that the Pelicans game was 8-on-5 on the basketball court because there was a lot of foul calls, and you look at the box score and you're like, that is egregious. So now you see, we gave up a huge lead this past game, but once they came back, we were able to kind of settle that down. But all in all, at the end of the day, I really think one of the things that we need more than anything is De'Aaron Fox. Because in those moments where we were losing leads, a guy like De'Aaron Fox can come in and just make buckets. When everyone's cold, we're missing layups, we're missing threes, they're hitting threes, they're hitting and ones. We need a guy that can come in and just get points. And De'Aaron Fox is that kind of player.
Well, and he just creates an additional gravity on the floor that we don't have right now. He is a 25-point-per-game scorer. He is a former All-Star. You just don't have that guy right now that commands that level of respect outside of Wemby. So that's just going to open things up for everybody. And I agree with the comment that Adam made, especially on Friday when Wemby fouls out in overtime. In years past, that's a game that this team has lost. And they've given, the 9-0 or 14-0 run on Friday that they went on, and 9-0 today, those are the runs that would happen to them in the fourth quarter of games, and it would be the difference. And now they're doing it to other teams. It's nice that the tables have turned.
Absolutely. And I think it's because we have so many dynamic guards that can create those really interesting attacking opportunities. And we saw Dylan Harper showcase that. And I really want to glaze him quickly and often this episode because he absolutely deserves it after that performance today. His first home game as a Spur, 20 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds on almost 80% true shooting, all while not committing a turnover. absolutely marvelous play. This is the exact kind of attacking play you want to see from Dylan Harper. Sure, did he kind of overextend himself a few times defensively and get a couple of dumb fouls? Absolutely. That's going to be a lot of those growing pains, though. I'm super cool with that. Oh yeah, I'm beyond cool with that if what we're getting on the offensive end is anything near what we saw today. Just absolute brilliance.
Yeah, he's just got to learn a little bit. There's a rookie growing pains. That'll happen. But I think the one thing that I've been encouraged about, especially these last 2 games, is both him and Stephon Castle, I think, can play off the ball better than people gave them credit for. And I think that's going to be a big deal when De'Aaron Fox comes back. And people were saying, "Oh, one of those guys has to go. There's too many guards." I just don't. I don't think having too many talented guards is a problem in today's NBA.
Right. And
only if their
just
egos
like I
can't
said,
handle it.
And just like I said, these past 2 games shows why we need De'Aaron Fox.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, we came out with wins, but those wins were nail biters until they weren't. And that kind of guy can just kind of end those quick 8-0 runs in a matter of just like a play or two. So,
and it's like today shouldn't have never been a nail biter.
Exactly, 100%. And now we played all of our guys in the fourth quarter. Now, granted, the Raptors have to play a later game than we do tonight, but good thing we're young enough to have that bounce back tomorrow. But, it's one of those games that if we would have been able to sit everyone in the fourth quarter, I'm not worried about tomorrow at all.
No. Well, and you get through tomorrow, you don't have to play again until Thursday. So you get a little bit of a break. And so I know it's tough for us as fans because there's nothing else on TV those nights. But just get through tomorrow. Get to 4-0 and we're 1 game closer to breaking that heinous 5-game win streak drought.
Yep. And then lock everyone in a gym and shoot free throws.
Yes, I think you could do that after tomorrow.
Right. I mean, I think that's been one of the most glaring things for me. And it's not even a horrible thing. It just seems to be, whether it's a Stephon Castle one night, he's going 5 for 10 and missing some key crucial free throws that could really solidify the game, or it's Wemby tonight missing the front end on multiple 2-shot free throw attempts. And it's just really, really frustrating when it just seems like it's a focus thing. Like we know he can hit 85% of these free throws. Just go out there and nail them when they matter.
Well, and that's the thing, it's October 26th. It's okay right now, but if this is not corrected, it's the kind of thing that will cost you games that matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, absolutely. I will say, watching these 3 games, Keldon Johnson is going to be a Spur for the rest of the season and beyond. Yeah, Devin Vassell, on the other hand, I can see him being traded before the trade deadline personally. Just because really well I think he has, but Keldon he doesn't really need much in order to get the team going. Like just the rebounds he was grabbing, being under the basket and snagging those one-handed rebounds. Like Devin's great when he's making shots, but if he's not making shots, I feel he's hurting the team. And so that's why I think Keldon Johnson just affects the game a little more without having the ball in his hands.
Granted, it's only been 3 games, but I've been impressed by Devin's buy-in on the defensive end of the floor this year. We're finally seeing it.
Yeah, well, I think it's because he's not being tasked with guarding the best player. Like they're shifting that responsibility to Stephon Castle a little bit more, and so I think he can kind of roam a little bit, not play as much point of attack defense, and then rely on his team defense because he's a smart team defender. And you saw that with a play today where he read the passing lane beautifully, picked it off in transition, and then just dunked it 2-hand. And that was like, okay, that's what we want to see from his defense. And we haven't been seeing because he's been asked to do way too much. And hopefully, if this is his role defensively, hopefully we see more nights where he's 4 for 6 from beyond the arc like tonight. Because if he is, then I want to keep him. But if it's going to be kind of, fadeaway jumpers and ill-advised step backs, then maybe we do trade him.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really interested to see in the coming couple of weeks. I mentioned it the last time I was on, how Steph Castle and Jeremy Sohan blend together. I feel like those minutes are going to have to be staggered because we saw Steph have a decent shooting game against Dallas, but I still don't trust that 3-pointer. And so,
I'm
I
not
just
sure if
think,
Sohan. I don't know if he has a role on this team right now.
oh, he absolutely does. If you can guard 1 through 5, you have a role on any team. But the minutes are going to have to be staggered, I think, carefully because between Harper, Castle, and Sohan, you're really going to lack shooting. That's when the shooting becomes a concern.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where a lineup where Harrison Barnes is almost preferred because he's a guy that can catch and shoot, and he's going to be dead eye from the corner. That's one of his strongest positions, and that's kind of what benefits Wemby the most whenever he gets collapsed on. And I love that Sean Elliott said it in the broadcast today. That's gonna be the next transition for this Spurs offense, is how to play when Wemby gets double teamed and when Wemby sees these different defensive schemes, because he's an MVP level player. What's the next layer of offense? And I think that we're going to need shooting around him more than later. But I also think we definitely have a role for Sohan. I'm not going to act like we don't have a role for him.
I think Sohan's gonna get a chance to maybe play that kind of lower post role, like coming from the dunker spot, so that Wemby, when he sees him cutting from like in the high post, Sohan can kind of take advantage of playing around the basket a little bit more. So I think there's definitely a role for Sohan where he doesn't have to be a 3-point shooter, but again, it's just it's a math thing. You have another guy that isn't a strong shooter. So it's just on Mitch to stagger those minutes in a way that doesn't make that too big of a disadvantage.
Right. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's probably going to lead to less minutes for Sohan just because we have such an abundance of talent that can do a lot of different things on offense. And it's no slight to him, but it's just, hey, we got a lot of guard heavy lineups where we're going to run a smaller lineup where if Wemby's out there, it's going to limit our size a little bit.
Well, and it's a unique problem, kind of indicative of today's NBA when you have a guard and a forward with such kind of overlapping deficiencies. Do you have to worry about staggering their minutes?
Yeah, I look at guys like Luke Cornett, and I look at guys like Harrison Barnes, look at guys like Kelly or Olynyk. I think those people fit more with what we're trying to do than Jeremy Sohan. That's just my opinion, but I've also never been a big Jeremy Sohan fan. So grain of salt with every time I bring him up.
That's understating it.
I think he's a fucking douche. Like I'm not. I like him when he's playing good defense and he's playing good ball, but right now I'm trying to picture, like, just in these 3 games when he could have come in and really like benefited the team, and like outside, because also now we have a guy like Carter Bryant too, who jumps out of the gym and can shoot a 3-pointer. Like, and once he gets polished up a little bit, then like that, we also got to give him minutes too.
I think he could have benefited the team because you have a guy like Cam Thomas dropping 40 on you. He's not doing that. If you say go get him, Jeremy, he's just not.
Maybe we'll find out when we go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's going to have an opportunity to answer that question for himself. Like, we are going to put him on some really, really tough offensive assignments, and we're going to see how he's going to flourish, because right now, like, we've seen Steph Castle do a pretty good job at kind of deterring some really good offensive players, whether it's Steph, whether it's Luka. We've seen him kind of do his thing against some of the league's best. So Sohan, I'm very, very interested to see how he's going to step up, because I see him on the sideline and he's getting excited for these young players. He's getting pumped for Castle and Harper, and I'm thrilled to see how that energy looks back on the court.
Well, and just to that point, the bench as a whole, it's so refreshing to see this team how they like each other. Honestly,
Yeah, it was really cool to see the home opener because I heard the Jackals on the TV broadcast. I think they did a fantastic job. I think one too many Go Spurs goes personally. Just if we can just take that down a notch, we don't have to say it every possession. It's okay. Like we can change up different things, add some different chants. I'm sure they were doing it. I just didn't hear it, but I heard a lot of Go Spurs go, and we've already beat that horse to death since 2003. So let's figure something else out while we're doing it. But I felt that there's a lot of really good energy. I think this team definitely trusts each other on the court. And like I said last episode, you throw the ball to Wemby, good things happen.
Absolutely.
It took 3 years to figure it out,
and thank you for bringing up Wemby, because I think that we need a proper amount of time to glaze the way Wemby has been playing currently.
He's the tall guy on our team, number one, by the way. If our
today,
listeners don't know who he is,
he's the gigantic 7'5" croissant that is absolutely flambeing the NBA right now.
I think you could call him a baguette at 7'5".
He's deep in his baguette right now. That's for damn sure. He's
good one.
I mean, today, 31 points, 14 rebounds, 9 stocks.
Yeah, man.
We're seeing what we talked about all offseason with the better shot selection, the better shot making. You're just seeing a couple buckets more per game, a better field goal percentage. It's manifesting, and he's playing more, so he's getting more rebounds. So I don't think this is in any way a mirage.
No. Well, Sean Elliott even said it on the broadcast. I'm sure you guys heard it too. He said last year Wemby was shooting his average, distance from the basket was like 17 feet. This year it's under 9. It's like 8.5, I want to say. So like that's exactly where he is. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. I'm sure you did. There is a possession late in the fourth quarter where he had an open 3. He pump faked it and then took it one step right outside the key and nailed that shot. So I much rather him do something like that than just jack up threes. Now, don't get me wrong, shoot the threes. Like that logo 3 was insane. After 2 blocks and then just walking up and just nailing down that logo 3, I'm totally cool with that. What I'm not cool with though is him doing it 18 times.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with the average shot distance and the abundance of 3-pointers. It's like you are not only limiting your ability to score around the paint, get an offensive rebound, but you're just taking away your greatest asset, which is your length. And I think that absolutely, but whenever I was looking at his average shot distance, it was crazy. It was staggering, the difference between this year and last year. How he's generating these floaters and really working to get to these little mini hook shots and almost little sky hook looking shots as well.
Yeah.
Just the amount of 7, 8, 9 plus 3-point attempt games that he had last year was insane. And Anthony Edwards was kind of doing the same thing. I feel like it's just a thing young players are bound to do, where they just kind of feel themselves out a little bit. But I think something clicked this summer, whether it was something KG said or something Hakeem said, or he was meditating with the monks or something. But it was just like, I'm done wasting my time.
No, you missed the last episode, James, but I said, and I appreciate you not listening too, but the last episode, what we talked about was, hey, those guys basically brought Wemby in and said, look, dude, this is who you are. This is who you need to be. And I'm not going to move any further until we get this elephant out of the room. Get your big ass down low. And that's exactly what everyone said, because that's exactly what it looks like. What also I love too is that we run that high pick and roll. And whenever the ball gets kicked out to the wing, they're not even looking for the shot. They're trying to find Wemby cut into the basket. And Harrison Barnes is passing great to Wemby right now too.
And one problem that I have seen this season through 3 games that I think I've seen in each game is that the Spurs haven't played well against a zone. They have been kind of duped by that. And I think that's where a guy like Jeremy Sohan can kind of come into play. And I'm just hearing Stan Leach's voice in my head when talking about attacking a zone. You want to go to the elbows and the short corners. And I think, a guy like that can operate well out of those areas because he can pass well and you're not asking him to score from beyond, 10, 15 feet.
Pass
And
is
so
okay.
I think a guy like Cornette, a guy like Sohan can really operate well once they're together in that sense and kind of shore up that weakness. Because if I'm listing out a list of concerns I have, that would be towards the top of it so far through 3 games. They haven't played well against zones.
Right. Well, and on a night like tonight where you didn't have Cornette and you had to feature Bismack Biyombo a little bit more often than you naturally would want
Right.
to. Not saying he's not a capable player, but you just wouldn't want to play him that many minutes.
He's not a great passer.
Right. He's not a good connective piece on offense really at all. But when you look at it through that lens, I still feel like that would be a place where I would want Sohan as well. If
Kelly Olynyk for that matter.
Yes, we're missing a lot of our front court depth right now, which I still feel like is the scariest part of what we're putting together. Is we have some of the best depth in the NBA outside of maybe OKC.
Well, and then that's kind of the elephant in the room, to steal your term, AJ. That's who this team is assembled to be.
Yep.
That's your target.
Wemby's going to bully Chet too, by the way. Next time we see the Thunder.
I can't fucking wait.
Wemby's going to absolutely he might drop 6, to be honest with you. Clip it right now.
I can't wait for those two guys to get old.
We've been on a roll with our calls lately and our predictions. Book 60 for Wemby against Chet.
I can't wait for those guys to get old and be like Jordan and Bird in the Last Dance and just like dapping each other up and be like, "You bitch, fuck you."
I mean, I really hope that both of them stay with the organizations and just continue to slug it out over the years. That would be truly remarkable. But for some reason, I think Wemby's going to get the last laugh in that head-to-head battle.
and I do believe also that we're seeing, so now that Steph and LeBron and all those guys are kind of older and kind of going away from, I guess going towards the retirement route than, their prime route. I think we're seeing a new element in the NBA, and it's not revolved around 3-pointers. I think we're seeing what the Spurs are doing, and they're getting to the basket. They're getting and ones. They're shooting free throws at an astounding clip. We shot 36 free throws today. I mean, like, we're getting to the line and we're keeping up with those 3-point shooting teams because we're getting and ones. And then you couple that in with a few 3-pointers here and there, and all of a sudden you just have boom. You're seeing the new form of how the NBA is being played moving forward.
Low volume, high efficiency can still win if you play good enough defense, and that is exactly what this team is built to do. Yep.
Because that big ass dude in below the rim, man. Whenever people, I really we need to figure out a way to track the stat of how many shots did he deter, because so many times people come around a screen and just go, no.
Well, it's amazing. I know it's 3 games, but he's averaging 6 blocks a game, and it's amazing that he does that because of that exact point, AJ. How many times people just get around the basket and they're just like,
nope.
And he still blocks 6 shots a game.
And he still gets people because of his recovery quickness, and they don't think that he will get there on that second block, and he consistently night in night out gets those little tap double blocks because he surprises everybody.
And it's why stocks are a thing now, because that same length, it just completely changes the geometry of the floor. You just cut off, wall off. It's not dissimilar to when we had prime Kawhi. Just wall off a section of the floor.
Yes. And we're walling off the basket. Like, That's the thing. Like we're walling off the basket, and there's a lot of times where I get frustrated with Wemby because I'm like, you should have at least tried to block that shot because you would have gotten it. But I get it. You got to pick your moments and pick your time. But the battle against Zion was fun to watch because Zion wanted to take it to Wemby, and Wemby, now that he because he looks bigger and because he put on more weight, that is a much easier matchup for him than rather than having just someone be in your shoulder the whole time. So we're in a good spot right now, man. And by good spot, I mean top of the West.
Yeah, it's been a while since we could say that. Although the team before we got Wemby was 5-2 to start the season. They finished 17-58.
Eesh.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right. No,
yeah,
I don't think so either,
I think this squad is on a completely different trajectory. But I still don't feel like it's too dissimilar from what we were saying at the beginning of the season. I just think maybe chalk us up for a few more games than we would have normally won. I think that if we do overachieve, we are a 50-win team. I could see us starting to gel sooner rather than later.
It looks like it.
Yeah. I mean, why the hell not? I mean, we're doing all of this without our second best player.
Yeah. And also what things that I want to highlight too is we're taking care of the ball. Like we have some silly turnovers here and there, but for the most part, like Dylan Harper didn't have a turnover today. Victor Wembanyama only had 2.
What? Have his first turnover. It took Wemby 11 quarters to have his first turnover of the season.
So we're taking care of the ball because we're being efficient, and I just absolutely love what we're doing. I love the way Mitch is having these boys play, and I'm really curious to see how we're going to add the other people. I think De'Aaron Fox definitely finds a role. That's not a problem. He's going to be very happy. But I'm curious to see how we work in Kelly Olynyk and Jeremy Sohan and then kind of go from there.
I think we'd be remiss to not touch on the new addition to the arena's rafters.
The Yackle? Oh, the pop thing.
The pop banner.
The pop banner.
In very pop fashion too.
The most pop fashion.
Right. I mean, short and simple, sweet, just like
no ceremony, just put it up before a Sunday matinee against the Brooklyn Nets in October.
Put it up there like it was a set of some new sheets at a La Quinta Inn.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just like
up there the whole time.
Hey, wait a minute. Something new. Hey, did you notice when do we get that?
Nice. That's hilarious.
I mean, real G is moving silence like lasagna, right? So, that was a very pop thing to do, and it makes me it makes me happy that we were able to put something up there for him because he deserves to have the court, the arena, the town, everything should be named after Pop for what he did this organization.
I've been on the record for a while now. Name the airport after him.
I don't
the arena first.
I don't know if he would love that or hate that, but
I mean, he's an Air Force guy, right? If he'd take anything, maybe it's the airport.
Fair enough.
I would say name a base after him. Randolph needs a refresh.
Absolutely.
I think the whole vibe of the city is great, especially right now. Now that we start 3-0, Wemby's averaging 30 points a game. People are talking about him being MVP of the league right now, which is pretty crazy to even consider at this stage. So with the vote coming up, it's good that we're getting a lot of great pub for this first 10 games before the vote.
Well, absolutely. I think he's getting a lot of MVP consideration because as of right now, he is the MVP. When you look at what he's doing offensively, 33 points a game, 13 rebounds with really high efficiency, 6 blocks a game, the obvious defensive player of the year, coupled with an amazing defensive rebounder and an elite post-game scorer, scoring from beyond the arc. It's like, what is he not doing? He is obviously the best player in the league right now. I know Shea's amazing. I know Jokic is amazing, and they're going to do a lot of winning this season. But when we're looking at MVP candidates right now in October, it's Wemby. Give me Wemby.
It's not like this. It's not like this. They're not getting, like, they're great players, but it's not like this.
Yeah.
SGA is getting his numbers
the
on the free
league's
throw.
leading scorer?
Jokic looks great when he's passing the ball, but they're not doing what Wemby's doing at all. And I have no idea what James just said.
I said, is Aaron Gordon still the league's leading scorer?
Oh, yeah.
Well, because he dropped that 50 piece. Yeah, I mean. But then Shea dropped that 55 piece. So, I mean, it could be.
Luka dropped 49 and.
Luka's out for at least a week.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I think he sprained a finger or something like that.
Yeah.
Finger.
He could just be wanting to chill for a week or so. I honestly,
Doncic.
yeah, I was about to say. I mean, he's gonna get to fat Doncic at some point.
The winter's coming. He needs to add pounds to get through the winter.
But looking at our schedule, I mean, we have the Raptors coming up. I think we have the Heat and the Suns for next week. So I mean, there's no reason why we can't hit that 5 game. And I guarantee you, Wemby circled that Miami Heat game because he was like, Khalil Ware, notice.
Well, I mean, Khalil Ware, I mean, he's gonna have to play with some physicality because Khalil Ware likes to go into him a little bit and Epa. But at the same time, I think it's only gonna lead to a really aggressive Wemby performance.
I don't think Terry Rozier is going to play.
Yeah. Well, no, the FBI might let him.
And then after that, we get the Lakers on November 5th. So I wonder if that's when Luka comes back and probably LeBron James too. But we're like, dude, Wemby versus DeAndre Ayton, get the fuck out of here. Good luck.
LeBron's going to miss a month. He's not coming back.
Okay, well then, dude, we might kick off to a 6 game, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe against Houston, November 7th, like that might be. But even then, I don't think they have their starting lineup worked out too well. It looks great on paper, but then you see it and you're like, ugh. So, you know, I think right now the teams that we expect to be in the playoffs have a lot of question marks. They got to figure it out here before December. Otherwise, they're going to be kind of left outside looking in.
They're looking up at the Spurs, silver and black, at the top of the standings.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, a lot of teams that end up rattling off these early season wins, you know, they find themselves in the playoffs, and I think that, you know, we're a team that's young enough and deep enough to stay healthy, stay consistent throughout the year, and still be able to have a good, complete team going into the postseason. I don't see why not.
As long as one.
I didn't know that we play the Thunder on Christmas Day, and we also play them 2 days before that as well. So we have a home on the 23rd, and then Christmas Day is in Oklahoma City. So back-to-back games against the Thunder, the defending champions, and the Christmas Day primetime 1:30 game. Oh boy!
I can only remember the Spurs ever having one home Christmas Day game. I think it was 2014.
Unless they do it at a local Catholic school gymnasium, it's not something San Antonio's cool with. Because then they can just go to church right into the gymnasium from there.
I feel like enough people go the night before midnight mass.
Midnight mass is lit, but when you're not
usually
expecting the
candles.
children's mass, children's masses, dude. I like kids. Kids are great, but when you walk into a children's mass and they're singing in the choir, you're like, fuck.
Well, and the nativity play takes for fucking ever. With the younger the kids get, the longer it takes.
You're like, oh, I wonder what happens.
We know the story.
It's like, where's Santa?
This sounds like a pretty good opportunity to transition to dunks, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, James, it sounds like you've got a dunk you want to get off your chest.
Well, okay. So y'all know me. I don't like to dunk on specific people. And this, I feel like it's
in concepts. Yes.
I feel like it's bad form to dunk on people specifically because I feel like there's a lot of areas where common ground can be found, and that's not done enough today in society. But I wanted to say something on the record about Michael Carlos of the San Antonio Current.
Oh,
because he has
I'm gonna put my mic on mute.
Because he's been the most prominent voice about Project Marvel, I think, at least on social media that we have. And again, I'm not trying to slam a person because, again, I feel like there's more that we probably agree on in important issues than we don't agree on with this one specific thing. But there's been a lot of shoddy journalism, I think. And by shoddy journalism, I mean when you are yourself putting out something that is corrected by the city of San Antonio online in public for everyone to see, and your response is it was a lazy attempt to discredit a local journalist, something's wrong, first of all. And it's a pattern because it's a pattern of not recognizing any kind of dissent and not giving any sort of balance to this one particular issue. And I don't know if that's a directive coming from the Current or what, but it is all anti-Project Marvel. It is using Google AI as a reference 3 times in an argument to you bolster your facts when someone counter argues your stuff. It's blocking a person on Twitter when they come at you with facts that counter your narrative, only to unblock them when they make a typo and call them a bot. It's that kind of thing. The reliance on generalizations and half truths. There was a tweet I shared in the group chat about cities that have voted down similar measures in the past and when they've lost their teams. You know, it's just these kinds of reliances on half truths and shoddy journalism, and it's, you know, a little Barry Weiss-esque. I don't know if that tracks or lands with y'all, but to do all of this and to push all of this and then to separate yourself by saying, quote, I don't vote in municipal elections is just the weakest thing that I can, like, if you're going to stand on something, you're not Gina Ortiz-Jones. You're not legally obligated to not say anything like she is. If you're going to stand on something, stand on it. And that's all I have to say. Like, if you are going to be a public voice, do a service to the other public voices. Don't do a disservice to your role in this city.
You got dunked on.
James.
I forgot what I was even going to dunk on. I got so sucked into your dunk.
Again, I don't want to make anything personal or anything like that. I probably agree on more important things across the spectrum than just this, but it needs to be said.
Yes.
Even if it's just me on this little podcast.
It takes a special somebody to have an opinion about something and then not vote on that opinion. So I those people really, really bother me. Like,
yeah,
that's probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to people. Like, you can do it and say whatever you want, but when push comes to shove, you better back that shit up.
Well, and to push a narrative on your community and then to separate yourself from that community because of some perceived line of ethics, like journalists aren't citizens, is disingenuous at best to me.
James, you need a dunk hat. We need to get you a hat that you put on when you're about to go on, like, when you're like hardcore dunks like you have been. Like, we need to get you a dunk hat and you pop that thing on, and then we go on mute and you go.
Like one of those little like drink hats
or something. Maybe like a pinwheel one or something.
I'll look into it.
Honestly, it might have to be a crumble cookie hat.
A dunk hat sponsored by Crumble Cookies.
Perfect. I'm going to dunk on Crumble Cookie because I got Crumble Cookie yesterday because my wife's coming back from Jakarta tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm going to get some Crumble Cookies. So when she comes, she has like some sweets and whatnot. I got these cookies and they fucking suck. They're terrible. I mean, they're just not good cookies. And I'm very disappointed. On top of all that, I set, you know, when like you get DoorDash or whatever, and you set the thing to like leave it at my door. I don't want to interact with you. Just bring me my stuff and we call it a day. Here's your tip. This lady, not only did she ring my doorbell, she knocked on my door and then stood there, not like I'm going to back up and like, you know, here it is. No. She was literally at my doorstep. Like, here you go. I'm like, either this is your first one that you've ever done, or you're like, you just didn't read the directions. But like, I went, you gotta be kidding me. So like, I had to like open the door in my undies and just be like, thank you. And she was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, that's why I said leave it at the door. You saw my dick.
Read the instructions.
Right. Right. Yeah. I was half mast and you just opened the door and
I had to I had to get half mast because I had to open the door.
Right.
I've had that same problem.
Can't be low mast.
Right. From midnight, you had to go from midnight to 6.
Right. Yeah. You got to open the door with confidence.
Yeah. So sup.
Yeah. Hey. Aye.
Sir, that's a tube of tennis balls.
No, it's not. It's socks like Shawn Michaels.
Oh, that's a worthy dunk though, because we experienced something like that today with Jimmy John's.
Oh no, not Jimmy John's.
Well, they apparently, this one by our house outsourced some of their delivery to Uber Eats. So
no, dude, you have to have a guy on a bike.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and otherwise it's not freaky fast.
Yeah, dude.
When I was a senior, I lived in a house. It was me and 2 other dudes from Bernie, and they for a period both worked for Jimmy John's. When I tell y'all, we had armfuls of day-old bread that they would just bring home. Oh, it was the best thing ever,
dude. Well, I mean, there was a time in Bernie where all of our friends worked at Quiznos, and we would go back there and make our own sandwiches. and now they're no longer open, and I don't think it's because of Quiznos. I think it's because of us.
Yeah, I think
you and people of your ilk.
We would get high and blow hits in the freezer, and then we would like take the Pepsis out back and like just like slam them off the pavement and like let them fly in the air. We were just straight up just menaces at that. And then I'd go inside and make me a 2-foot Baja chicken sandwich.
Exactly.
So this place closed.
I remember I walked in one time and Rob had an apron and like gloves. I was like, Rob, you working? He was like, no, I'm just making sandwiches. What do you want?
Dude, I made like 6 people sandwiches back to back, and I just made them way bigger than they needed to be. And then people were like,
"Dude, illegal." You made my Baja chicken sandwich, and it was a large, but it was like, I think you barely cut the nub of the bread, so it was just this enormous sandwich, and then all the chicken, all the cilantro, all the sauce. I got back to camps, and I was like, how do I even eat this?
There you go.
Oh, Rob, do you have a dunk?
I honestly I don't have a ton to dunk on. I just wrapped that Christmas movie, but I do want to dunk on one thing, because we were staying at what essentially was like a campground. They had like a nice like lake, and they have like a little restaurant and stuff you can do around there. It's very family oriented. But I'm gonna dunk on kids at camp.
Ooh,
because these kids at camp were freaking bold as hell. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, because we were the last couple of nights we were working overnights, so like we were working from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.
right,
and so I'm literally getting back at the campground, like in the cabins that we're staying in, and I'm trying to get some sleep, and these kids are up at like 6 a.m. screaming and like
G-O-O-D-M-O-R-9 chicken party.
Dude, they're like driving around in golf carts and like honking the horn all over the campground and like blaring music on speakers as they're driving by. And I'm like, like unloading equipment from the car after like a 13-hour work day, and I'm like, oh my God, these camping kids, I'm gonna dunk all over them. And so there we go.
Like, how do I reach these kids?
To quote Michael Jordan, fuck them kids.
Hey, you saw that free throw he hit,
which was apparently a fake quote because he was very nervous to entertain children. Did y'all find that at least a little bit ironic that was like kind of the plot of Space Jam, that he just like put out in that interview is like, you know, if you lose the game, you'll be like the servant for forever in the space on Moron Mountain or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then here he is shooting free throws for kids at 65 years old.
Dude, so
I'm surprised he made it though.
But so do the Looney Tunes need to make, like, because we're redoing everything now, do they need to make Space Jam 3, but from the aliens' perspective, and Wemby's the main star?
The Monstar?
Ooh, I like that.
Like Wemby comes in and he's like, what the fuck is this? And he's like pointing to like all the Looney Tunes.
Dude, as long as the coach can still be Danny DeVito, I'm good with it.
I thought he was a baseball player.
I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture.
I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this. Oh my gosh. What a brilliant piece of cinema. Chef's
Absolutely. Way better than that number 2. That number 2. So I heard somebody
was
on like
number
Instagram
2
or TikTok saying like number 2, no, Space Jam 2 is my favorite movie. I'm like, what in the actual hell?
Is that the first movie you've ever seen?
Yeah,
it's
like
like
the only movie.
Just like Jack Harlow's White Men Can't Jump is my favorite movie.
Okay. Sure. Speaking of movies,
right there.
It is Halloween time, and we kind of chatted about this last time, Rob. But I watched Weapons yesterday. Fantastic film with Julie Garner.
Yes.
Fantastic film. It's a great scary movie. It's creepy. It's magical. It's gory enough where it's like, oh, but it's not like in your face about it every other scene. So I think it's an actually phenomenal film. It takes a minute to get there, but once it gets there, it's awesome. Great movie. Weapons. It's on HBO Max right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a solid horror film. I would say the one I watched on streaming most recently was I rewatched Nosferatu.
Ooh, nice.
That to me is brilliantly shot, because they did so many of the camera techniques that they used, you know, way back 100 years ago when they shot the original Nosferatu, which I think it was cool to see like the same visual language, but like with, you know, techno cranes and all this improved technology. So, yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Sesame Street lately, and I can't help but think there's an opportunity to get Wemby in Big Bird's nest. Well, and they had Big Bird south of the border in an episode that I was watching yesterday with his cousin, and they were doing the Spanish alphabet. And I'm just like, why can't he do this with his French cousin, Victor Wembanyama?
Oui, oui.
It's not a bad idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. Big Bird can be around a bunch of pigeons, because there's a shit ton of pigeons in Paris, man. I don't get it.
Right.
They're not real.
I love it.
And Wemby can be like, well, what the fuck is this?
Dude, oh my God. Wemby like on Sesame Street, just like looking down at Big Bird, like, boop.
I mean, Big Bird, that puppet's pretty tall, man.
Wemby's 7.5 feet tall, dog. Like,
dude, what if they were the same height?
Until a year or so ago, if you Googled how tall is Peppa Pig, it would say 7'1".
What?
They fixed it, but
dude,
we should sign Peppa Pig to a 10-day.
It's wild that Wemby is 2 feet taller than the average person in San Antonio. It's insane. Like, that is, man. I want to see him take a picture with like a bunch of teachers where he has like his arms out around them, and it's just like he's touching his fingertips together because he's that big around 30 people.
I'll never forget. I think it might have been the first Bernie High basketball game I ever went to. They did favorite teacher night. Rob, I think it might have been your sophomore year because Lomers was on the team. They did favorite teacher night, and Lomers picked Miss Hargraves.
For our listeners, Miss Hargraves was a teacher who was 4'6", maybe. She was shorter than Mackenzie.
Yeah, she was very like small woman,
maybe 4'5", 4'6", and Josh Lomers played for Baylor, and he's 7 foot. So that is hilarious.
Yeah,
his jersey, because like the teachers were wearing like the other jersey. His jersey was like on the floor. Rob, I don't know if you remember that, but I vividly remember that.
No, I do. I try to block out some of that year because it was kind of frustrating not playing as much as I thought I should have. But at the same time, that was a hilarious moment, and Josh was really fun to play with in general.
Yeah,
7 feet.
The world's tallest accountant somewhere.
Absolutely. But
7 foot, man. I'll never even see that and think about it. I'm down here in the trenches.
Can't teach it.
Can't teach it. Can't teach that. Can't teach that. But follow us on Baseline Bums Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's pretty sunny for October, you know.
It really is. And that's why, thank you, James. That's why you need to hit up the Solar Scouts. They're going to help you find the solar plan, help you put some panels up on your roof so you can get rid of that electric bill you have and get a fresh new solar bill. They're going to help you save money, do something good for the environment as well. The solarscouts.com/bums. Figure out how to save yourself some money today. Yeah. But guys, that's feeling like a good episode. We not only glazed Wemby, we glazed Dylan Harper. We talked about the 3 most recent Spurs victories. I'm really excited with the direction we're going. Obviously, we're top of the West. What's not to like? Yeah. I think we're going to hop on sooner rather than later, and we're going to have a lot more fun stuff to talk about, but that feels like a good episode. So let's hop off here and end the same way we end all of our episodes. And that's with a go, a Spurs, a go.